you. Today is Awareness with Andrea, the third edition of the week. It's my first full week doing this. I'm totally loving this. And we're going to talk about a couple things today. I read this really interesting article yesterday about baking soda for inflammatory diseases. So I'm going to go over this with you. I am starting to put baking soda in my water now because I'm super excited about it for my Hashimoto's. So we'll do that. And then I have at least one funny medical story for you and maybe two. Okay, so this article was published in the Journal of Immunology. Do you guys want the links to these journals? Like, is the science interesting to you? Because if it is, I can put them in there, and if it's not, then I won't. Okay, so baking soda, many of you know it's a home remedy for lots of things. I mean, we stick it in our fridge to keep it smelling good. We can brush our teeth with it to keep our teeth white. We can use it as a natural cleaning agent. But it turns out that research shows it may actually have some very, very powerful anti-inflammatory effects in the body. So this study was published in the Journal of Immunology. Researchers at from Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University revealed that drinking a solution of baking soda could actually prime the immune system and protect it against inflammatory diseases like rheumatoid arthritis. Now listen, rheumatoid arthritis is not just an inflammatory disease, it's an autoimmune disease. And so additional autoimmune diseases include Hashimoto's, that's what I have, lupus, all sorts of different things. So if it can help the immune system with rheumatoid arthritis, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't help the immune system with all of those other things. So Paul O'Connor is a renal physiologist. That means he works on kidneys. And he and his colleagues tested the effects that drinking a baking soda solution would have. First, they tested it on rats, but humans are not rats. So then they tested it on humans. And apparently what the experiment shows is that baking soda provides a signal to a special kind of cell called a mesothelial cell. Mesothelial cells, they line organs and tissues that need a slippery slope. So think the gut, like blood vessels, think that kind of thing. So anyway, the baking soda provides a signal to the mesothelial cells telling them that the body is fine and not under attack. And therefore, it will take the aggressive immune system of an autoimmune disease and ramp it down. So this is super exciting to me because as you guys have been watching for the last year, I've been handling my Hashimoto's, and this just blows my mind. So the mesothelial cells line the internal organs as well as many different cavities in the body. They prevent the organs and other internal tissues from sticking together. They also serve other functions, not all of which have been studied. So here's what it says. Baking soda prompts the stomach, so it does two things. Number one, it prompts the stomach to produce more gastric acid, which allows it to digest your food quicker and easier. But then it also seems to tell the mesothelial cells that line the spleen. The spleen, by the way, is an immune organ. It sits over here, like underneath the rib cage on the right-hand side. It's not talked about a lot. Like everyone talks about the liver and the pancreas, but the spleen is very important for your immune system. It tells the baking soda tells the mesothelial cells that line the spleen that when you eat something, take it easy, this food is not a threat. And that is super important because for every autoimmune disorder, there's going to be some sort of a food component to it. Everyone who has an autoimmune disorder has a food sensitivity or a food issue that causes their immune system to ramp up and then start attacking your own tissues. So what the baking soda does is when you drink it, it tells the spleen, hey, this food is okay. You don't have to launch an attack. And so that prevents those antibodies from attacking the food that you're eating, and it also keeps them from ramping up, and then they attack your tissues. So basically what O'Connor said was the mesothelial cells in the spleen learn that, look, this food is just food. It's not an infection. So they don't activate the spleen's army of macrophages or white blood cells that then go around and clear up potentially harmful cellular debris. And it looks like the amount of baking soda that these people were drinking was about 2 grams, which works out to be about half of a teaspoon. So you could take like a quarter of a teaspoon, put it in some water, drink that in the morning, quarter of a teaspoon, put it in some water, drink it in the afternoon, and that would be okay. Now, this was really interesting to me. The authors that drank the baking soda solution, they experienced a shift in the kinds of immune cells that were activated in the spleen. The pro-inflammatory white blood cells, those are the ones that create inflammation, those decreased, and the anti-inflammatory white cells increased. Now, those same kinds of cells are also in the blood and the kidneys, and baking soda does happen to be used in the treatment of chronic kidney disease. So it was that idea which prompted the study's authors to start exploring this mechanism and find out why it's helping both spleen and renal function. And what they found was that what I just said, that the inflammatory white blood cells went down and the anti-inflammatory white blood cells went up. So where am I going to go with this? So now they're thinking that this is a safe way to treat inflammatory disease. And inflammation is the key player in heart disease, in stroke, in cancer, they believe. So something as simple as a little bit of baking soda in your water every day may actually help prime your immune system to keep that inflammation down and protect you from long-term effects. I'm really excited to see where this one goes because the potential for baking soda to help so many people is huge. There's something about the vagus nerve there. I'm not going to talk about that. And anyway, that's basically that story. So super exciting to me. If you have any questions about that, please pop them in the chat box. Now listen, I'm going to read you a funny story. This is from a doctor. He says, my patient came in and announced that she had good news and bad. She said, the medicine for my earache worked. And he said, that's great. What's the bad news? And she says, it tasted awful. Since she was feeling better, I didn't have the heart to tell her. They're called eardrops for a reason. So this person took their eardrops and drank it instead of putting it in the ear. Okay, whatever. All right, so that's Awareness with Andrea, Thursday edition. I've learned some things this week. I talk too fast. Number one, I knew that. I need to work on slowing down. Number two, I think I need to start highlighting my articles because I get a little like I get in the middle of the article and then I'm saying something I already said. So I'm going to work on that for next week. And I think I need more funny stuff. So that's it. I hope you enjoy these. If it's been helpful, please give me a thumbs up and like it. I appreciate it. You guys have a good weekend. I'm not in the office tomorrow, so will not be Awareness with Andrea tomorrow, but I'll see you next week on Monday. Okay, be grateful, have fun, and love lots. Bye.